Dudley Dawson with us from Hogville. Dudley, is this the beginning of the tournament, or did the first four start it?
The first four do not start the tournament. They are not involved in the tournament. That's why they call it play-in.
Okay, works for me. That'll work for me. So, man, we got to wait a little bit. Would you rather be one of the first games of Arkansas and Kansas? You knew that it would be prime time just because it's Cal. They would have thrown them into prime time no matter what.
Yeah, I'm glad it's later in the day. I've got a baseball advanced to right, softball advanced to right for this weekend, so I'll get that out of the way, and then we can just lock in tonight and watch what I think is going to be an entertaining game between a couple of teams that certainly at the start of the season weren't playing as well as they wanted to, and I think Coach Self and Kansas kind of consistently did that. Arkansas just started bad first and then made a run. So it should be an interesting tournament. And I could see either team winning this game, although in my brackets I have 10.
He's a fifth-year senior. I got that far, but it wouldn't say when his birth was. Hey, Dudley, who do you
He did look about 24 or 25.
He's a fifth-year senior, and he's been playing 19. There's no red shirts here, so who knows? He might be a ninth-year senior. It only goes back so far.
He looked like he was headed in for a layup and got tripped up. So,
but it won't.
You don't get a birthday, but I mean, Dudley, he still looks younger than, I don't know, like half the college baseball players right now.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I was listening to y'all this week when Will McIntyre at 24 threw a pitch to the just turned 18-year-old
That's right.
ORU player. So.
Well, I mean, so that's what you're facing. You're facing this in the tournament, too. I mean, it's not necessarily the same idea of the one-on-one matchup as pitcher versus hitter, but you're going to see 24 versus 18. In what world do you see that in sports? I mean, you can see it in some professional sports, but it's not very many. Are there 18-year-olds going up against someone who's 24, 25? But we have it now.
Yeah,
We've had it for 2 years.
Yeah, that's true. And we're in a phase of the tournament, especially here early, when veteran teams, as much of a veteran team as you can have in this landscape of college basketball, usually put forth great efforts in these opening round games because they've been together and doing it for a while, as a mid-major. And while a lot of the what we I guess call high elite or higher echelon teams usually are mercenaries who've been there 1 or 2 seasons.
Hey, Dudley, you look at Duke and Florida, those are the two favorites. I really think if those teams are playing their best, I don't know who can beat them. But is there anybody else you like? Michigan State, Auburn, Bama, Houston. Who else do you like in this tournament?
Hey, what I really like, just of the favorites, I really like Houston. I think they always play tough. I think Kelvin Sampson does a great job. They're always there pretty much at the end. But, if I was picking a team that's just kind of hanging out on the edge there, I like Oregon. And they're probably not going to get past Duke, but I like Oregon.
I got that matchup in the Sweet 16, Oregon and Duke. Oregon's they're a hot team. That's what if I said the two old dogs? If I gave you the two number 2 seeds and Tom Izzo and Michigan State and Pitino and St. John's, which one of those teams you like better?
After watching them this year, I like St. John's. They played a couple of games where they hadn't played up to the lower level, but they've been very consistent. And I think Coach Anderson did a good job, not a great job at St. John's. That whole thing ended badly, and I know they got it all settled and all, but it's proof that coaching still matters. With Coach going in there and doing what he's done this year, and kind of reviving the Garden and reviving the St. John's program.
Dudley, give me one thing you're really confident in for Arkansas, Kansas, and one thing that worries you about this matchup.
The one thing I'm confident in is that if Arkansas loses the ball game, they're going to blame it on bringing Swizzy Clan back. The fans are. They'll find something. And if they win it, which I think, as strange as it sounds, as many times as I've been on the show and talked to you, I think if they win the ball game today, it's going to be the 2 guys that you supposedly gave most of the NIL money to transfer her that were injured or whatever, not playing well. John L. Davis and Mr. Adu that, are going to lead them there. They certainly have been part of this down the stretch here after not playing up to, what some fans were saying their salary at that first part of the year. Even in the middle, too. It's really down the stretch those two have come on.
See, that's why it's like you play a regular season, you get a seed based on what you've done in the regular season, and then after that, I don't really know if the seeding matters very much anymore. I mean, you're going to play against teams that earn their seed, of course. But if what you're talking about does come true, and both of those guys who played very well in tournaments as well previously at their last school, and TB is playing at a high level, and that continues to maybe be an if. It's like, and forget about the bogey aspect of it too. Talent-wise, together, if they're playing up to the level that we know that they can play, that in some cases they played previously and came here hurt, and now we're playing close to that level, they're a heck of a lot better than a 10 seed. That's why. Yeah. That's why the whole talk is this is a team you don't want to face. Well, that doesn't mean anything until you start getting a run going, and that's got to start today.
Absolutely, and Bill Self is probably my closest friend in the coaching business because of the being together doing the Coach Sutton tree and just being around him a lot. But he'd be the first to tell you this year has not gone at all like it should have. I mean, they, when they first came here for the scrimmage game, the preseason game, whatever we called it, they were thought they would be, right there at the end, that they would be a Final Four contender. I don't think anybody thinks that right now. They've been very inconsistent. Hunter Dickerson is a great player. Adams is a great player, but they have done a lot of things that is not, really a staple of the Kansas program. Defense has not been that good this year. Their outside shooting is not where it has been. And I'm sure that he's nervous as all get out about having to play a team in Arkansas that hasn't been great this year, but boy, they're coming at the right time, and you hate to see teams coming at the right time.
Hey, Dudley, North Carolina, I believe they've won 9 of their last 11. Or Gonzaga on that side where they might have to match up with Houston in the second round. Which one of those two teams you think can make a little run, can make it to that second weekend in this tournament?
Well, I know who I thought before I watched that game the other night. I think North Carolina suddenly has a chip on her shoulder. Like you said, they're playing a lot better, although we can say that league wasn't as good this year, as it normally was. I like the Zags, though. I've watched the Zags a lot this year as well. They're coming, strong down the stretch here. Took out St. Mary's in the conference tournament, and I like them. So I didn't get North. I did my brackets before.
Same. When I'm looking back at it now, I'm thinking, man, I might kind of think North Carolina could make a little run right there. That Ole Miss matchup would be a good one.
Ole Miss is saying right now, oh really? We're gonna play a play-in team, but the play-in team is North Carolina. Great, that's not. I don't think that's a great matchup for them. But yeah, I probably would have moved North Carolina a little bit farther, but I just didn't. I was in this group of people who didn't think they deserved to be in it. I still don't think they did. I think West Virginia deserved to be, but I also think it's a clown show for the governor to get involved in sports and all that, and he's worried about education and all those other things, instead of that. But, it's going to be a fun day. It's going to be a real fun day. This are the best 2 Thursdays of this year. I have double-checked that my wife's birthday and our anniversary are not on Thursday this year. So these are the best 2 Thursdays of the year to start the basketball tournament and then the start of the real Major League Baseball season next Thursday.
Okay, so real quick, just to finish on yesterday's baseball game, I've never seen they said 17 batters hit in one inning yesterday. 12 runs. Now, I've seen that before. I've never seen 17 batters in an inning. That's an outlier, of course, but it's just like I'll never forget Sunday's win against Ole Miss for obvious reasons. I'll never forget yesterday because it was just crazy. 17 batters in an inning. That shouldn't happen.
This doesn't happen. Growing up as a dad and coaching my son and daughter, when they scored 10 runs, they made them come off the field. When they got
Right.
they batted around, they made them come off the field. And I'm sure that ORU, who really, you kept talking about this, especially that first game, they kept getting out of situations and not letting Arkansas score, and the bottom just fell out.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for betting on all the madness. Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, BetOnline is your ultimate game day companion. With the largest selection of odds on everything from college basketball to a $200,000 bracket contest, BetOnline continues to be your number one sports betting source. From every Cinderella story to every hat trick, BetOnline has you covered with odds, stats, and more for every game, every play, and every win. BetOnline, the game starts here.